Ani Buju Azawa Mikaneke Indígena Kaz, Musto Dem, Burns Urban and Dunji, Isla Barker Indígena Kaz. I'm Isla Barker, and I like Australia. So we were an awesome last-minute addition to South by Southwest Sydney. It was a surprise, but an honor to be able to come here on short notice. We were showcasing at another conference in Canada at Breakout West. We're in the mountains in Kelowna, playing a show there, and long story short, sounds like a spot opened up. They needed someone last minute. Somebody saw us showcasing at the conference there, and they're like, oh, you gotta get Isla Barker. You gotta get Isla Barker there. And I think like 36 hours later, we had flights booked, and we had to jump home quick, repack our bags, and flew down here as fast as we could. My family on my mom's side were Anishinaabe, members of Barons River First Nation, which is a northern community in Treaty 5 territory on Turtle Island, or so-called Canada. Kind of like northern Manitoba. Myself, I grew up in rural Manitoba, and you know, for me, it's been a fundamental part of my sound and my vision of having this connection to the land. And getting to be guests on other territories is such an honor. And every time in a new spot, you know, it's super inspiring, and it gives us a whole new perception and worldview and palette to, you know, pull from as artists. Some of my first musical memories were, you know, as a young kid, I was running around the bush singing little songs and making things up. And it's a question we get a lot as artists of when did we get started? And I think for a long time I thought I started in my teens, but then I remembered and realized that I've actually been writing songs since I was just little. And I don't think I knew at that moment that that's what it was. I was just putting little melodies to little words that were running through my head. But I spent a lot of time in the bush, and that was kind of like my moment to make whatever sounds I wanted with nobody listening. And I think I had the cool opportunity of not actually being exposed to a ton of music. And, you know, like there's the classics like Celine Dion that my mom had playing in the background. But I think I had, a kind of a unique opportunity to be more organic with my sound and pull deep from within, wherever it came from, and make my own vision. You know, I'm a self-taught artist, and I've kind of just felt it out and pulled inspirations along the way. So I released a record called Fool Underwater. It's my second project. Released that in the fall of 2022. And to be a fool underwater is to give much more of yourself than perhaps you should to someone. And before you know it, you're swimming in this beautiful ocean and then you're drowning. Water is a super powerful force, and it's something that has to be respected and honored, and it can be healing and beautiful, but it also can sweep you away with a moment's notice. And it's, you know, it's a metaphor for toxic relationships and abusive relationships, where often they start in these beautiful whirlwind romances, these honeymoon moments where you just can't believe how lucky you are, and then suddenly everything's changed and you're in this tsunami of a world. And so this is my personal story. I wrote the title track with my best friend Hera. She's one of my key collaborators, and we've gone kind of back and forth over the years of who was the fool underwater at which point. But, you know, I'm happy to be on the other side of that, and this record is a catalog, or really like my diary, of some of the moments that have shaped me in the last couple years. So the record truly is, you know, a collection of stories of the things that I've been through, of falling in love and then realizing I was somewhere I shouldn't be, and having to regain a relationship to my own trust and intuition, to regain that relationship with my spirit and myself, because it gets really lost along the way with unhealthy marriages or relationships, whatever those be. And you know, the Fool Underwater takes you through this journey that I went through, of the ups and downs, and coming back around to this, you know, kind of closure moment of knowing that in the end everything's going to be okay. that I'll figure it out. I'm gonna make it through. I can pick myself up and decide to have better things for myself and go the places that I should be.
Trust yourself. You know best. Face your fears. Forget the
So Intuition was the first single that I dropped off the record. And it's funny to me because it was kind of like a throwaway song. I didn't write it on purpose to have a song for stage or for a moment. It actually came from a young person who is a mentee of mine, and they asked me, how do you find inspiration from other types of media? And I think they were referencing something they'd heard from Billie Eilish, that she had watched like a show or something, but inspired and wrote a song. And so this youth asked me, how do I do that? And I didn't really know how to answer that exactly. So I said, give me a couple days, I'm gonna go do the exercise, and then I'll return back and tell you the steps that I took. So I started consuming movies and TV and podcasts and books and different types of media, searching for some inspiration. And one day I was washing my dishes and I was listening to this podcast on the mind-gut connection. And it really hit me because that was something that I had lost. I had lost my connection to self. I had lost that ability to trust my own gut. And so I dug deep in that moment to really nurture my relationship to self and to remind myself that at the end of the day, my mind says one thing, my heart tells me another, but the gut never lies. And I'm really grateful for that young person who inspired this moment for me, because it ended up being such a healing portion of my own journey. I didn't even know at the moment how important this song would be. And it's gone on to have some cute accolades and moments.
Intuition, gotta listen to your spirit deep inside. Intuition, trust the wisdom you've got. Intuition.
SoCan Indigenous Songwriter of the Year award. It was synced and placed into Travel Manitoba campaign as well. And Intuition's, it's something so meaningful to myself, but I've been honored to know that it's hit a lot of people as well and been something important for their journey as well. So I've spent a lot of time figuring out, why. It's super fun to travel and sing songs, and at the core of it, that's the fun part of it, but why? Why do I do this, right? And for me, it's been vital that I'm as authentic and genuine to myself as possible, and I want to create space for other people to be themselves as well. I think we are so often told who to be, especially as women, what to look like and how to act and how to sound and this and that. We get a lot of people telling us these things, and I really want to create a space for people to be their weird selves. I'm the weird kid, right? I want to create moments for people to feel that they can be their weird, genuine, authentic selves. And especially for young people, especially for young Indigenous people too, I want to represent the mixed community and show that we have a space here as well. We're still here and definitely deserve a seat at the table. I think that there's a lot of moments too with my music where I'm just singing my diary out for the world, and I know that there's things to resonate with that as well. So I'm honored to be able to create a space for people to feel their feels too, and laugh and cry and be on the roller coaster along with me. So South by Southwest Sydney is my first international gig and showcase ever, and it's been such an honor to be here. And I really do feel like I've got my toes on a starting line, and I'm incredibly excited for the next kind of pieces of whatever this is. I've got a handful of singles stashed away, and I'm super excited to be releasing those soon. Start building some team members around me, travel, tour, and then generally, take over the world. That's the plan. So of course, as artists, we're told from the very get-go, build a team around you. I've been a fully independent artist for a decade now, which has been tough at times because I think for so often it's like, I need a manager, I need to get signed, I need a manager, I need an agent, I need a label. And now I've kind of settled into this comfy spot of, this is actually really dope being an independent artist and having creative freedom and control over where and what I do, where I go and what I do. And the time will come for sure to build this team around me. And for now, I'm waiting for the right people. I don't just want any team. It's got to be the right people to build the dream with me, who are excited about this project and this vision that I'm growing and blossoming. And for now, it's an honor to stand on my 2 feet as an Indigenous woman and create something for myself and for my community right now. I think one of my absolute favorite parts of this job that I have, it doesn't feel like work on most days, unless I have to do spreadsheets, then it feels like work. But I think one of my absolute favorite pieces of this career is when we get to perform live on stage. There is such a high to it, there's such a rush, and there's nothing like it. And for me, it was the thing that hooked me absolutely first. It was 2008. I was part of Rocker Girl Camp in Edmonton, Alberta. We had like this weekend to create a band, write a song, learn an instrument. It was so fast. They threw us on stage at the infamous Roxy Theater. And that very first moment that I stepped on stage and I saw the crowd, I went, oh, this is it. There is something here. And I've been absolutely hooked ever since. And it's such a cool experience having band members that we really gel with too. And it's kind of funny because we've been chatting about this week that none of them auditioned to be a part of this band. I picked people whose vibes I liked and just trusted that they were going to be awesome and threw them in a show and molded and shaped kind of the sound. Like my guitar player's usually country and we do a lot of not country in this band. And for me, that community aspect is so massively important because I do really believe that if I surround myself with good people, good things will keep happening and coming. And it's fun. We're having fun. And I think that's got to be the best, era to be in, where things are happening. There's food in my fridge, there's gas in my car, but we're having fun.